Today is an interesting parva, again known as Surya Sashti or the Skanda Sashti of Bhadrapada Masam. So Rishi Panchami yesterday, Lalita Saptami tomorrow. So the parvas continue like that. So on this day, Surya Sashti, Skanda Darshanam. So seeing Skanda is a auspicious thing for the day as a ritual. Seeing, visualizing Skanda. So the topic in the Sanatana Dharma for today is something called saucham, suchi, saucham, purity. So what is saucham? Saucham is one of the four fundamental quarters of the Sanatana Dharma. Sanatana Dharma, as per Bhagavatam, defines Satyam, Saucham, Daya, Tapas are the four fundamental aspects of Sanatana Dharma. So Satyam, we spoke earlier in something like this, one of those live discussions, is the truth that is unchanging across times and places. Time, space, causation, distinction is not there, that is Satyam. Satyam means it is not obstructed by the time, means past, present and future. Space means here higher world or lower world, that kind of distinction. Causation, because it is caused, is this the cause, is that the effect, or is that the causation? So beyond all these things, what remains constant, what remains always, what remains beyond this is Satyam. So Satyam is the fundamental thing. Satya Yuga, it is 100% Satyam is followed. Then what happens is the purity aspect comes into it. What is this purity? Purity again can be defined as the amount of intermixing the impurity with the pure Satyam, truth. So how it is done is basically we imagine something. So the existence, for example, existence is there. Existence is truth. Truth only is existing. Okay, what exists, so whatever is not changing any time beyond time and that is called truth. So that is existence. But an individual, somebody imposes a limitation on this body as I and say this body will not exist. So non-existence is assumed, imagined in existence. So existence, so what is happening? The existence is getting polluted by a concept of imagination of non-existence. So non-existence is superimposed on the existence and say that, oh, there is a mixture of existence, non-existence. Similarly, consciousness. Consciousness is continuously the consciousness. During the deep sleep, unaware of anything also, consciousness is pure. Then during the projection of dream, the projector projection, everything is consciousness only. That is also not changing. Unchanging consciousness is only the dream. The same consciousness, when it perceives the world, objects, everything, that is also the same pure consciousness which is not changing, that is truth. But it is superimposed by the experience of seeing, projection or non-projection. This intermixture is the mixture that is happening. So what happens is there is a strong belief that this mixture is truth. Why? Because the limitation is superimposed on the infinite supreme reality. So what is saucham means? The saucham is the purity of this reality. Purity of this reality, how the purity is understood by an individual. So the thought, the consciousness is pure. It appears to raise, a thought appears to raise in it. Okay, it is appearing, we are seeing, it is expressing itself, a thought is expressing itself in the consciousness. Somebody who is observing this or who is seeing this thought rising, thought sustaining for some time and thought merging back into the same consciousness, which is not there in the beginning. Thought is not there in the consciousness in the beginning. It has risen, it has existed for some time, and it has subsided into the same or merged back into the same consciousness. But thought is real. How much also? So that is the fundamental principle of satyam. So purity comes when thinking that this thought is also real. It is temporarily real. That is correct. It has risen, it has fallen. That much. So there is a loop that has happened. It is only so much real. It is not beyond. It is not. It cannot cancel the consciousness, the truth of the consciousness. Same way, when it is not observed like that fully, comprehensively, and expressed saying that yes, I have seen, yes, I have seen the changing reality, I affirm by this changing reality. The impurity has come into the speech. So what has happened? Speech now is describing not something truth. It is untruth. Unrutham is being affirmed by the speech. Impurity of the speech will come. Thinking that this speech is real means yes, somebody has affirmed it, this is what it is. Deeds or the actions will be performed thinking that this body, mind, and intellect are real, or this body, mind, and intellect are truth, or this body, intellect are pure, because they are not, because that is the problem. So what happens? The impurity into the action will come. So purity of thought, purity of speech, purity of action depend on the comprehensive correct understanding of the satyam through the concept, through the process of saucham, purifying. So how do we purify? That is what daya and tapas are the two more limbs of, two more components of Sanatana Dharma. So what is daya is compassion, ahimsa, compassion, considering the others as equal in terms of opportunity and ability, everything is the daya. So basically, when that daya is there, tapas is practicing these other virtues continuously. So tapas also we spoke about what is tapas. Tapas at the manasika tapas, vachika tapas, and kayika tapas. So tapas is the purifier. So if you want to achieve the saucham, saucham can be achieved by tapas. How all this links to this skanda? So skanda is a reality which apparently dislodged from the supreme reality called Shiva. Then he goes through various imaginations, transformations, separations, building up sixfold separation to sixfold connection, having six phases of expansion, contraction. But through the Agni, the one of so water, fire, and air are considered purifying agents. They cannot be impure. So the impurities, any pure impure, the purity by, so for example, gold is there. The gold need to be purified. You need to put the gold into the melting state, melt it, and bring the pure gold out of it. So any other metal can be removed using chemical reaction when it is melt. So the metallurgy process. So that way, so tapas, the heat generated by the own contemplation or inquiry into the reality, truth, is the tapas. So by tapas, one can purify one's own thought, means chitta suddhi, vak suddhi, kriya suddhi. Kriya suddhi, kriya siddhi. Suddhi and siddhi are related. So starting with satyam, saucham, daya, ahimsa, daya, all those is the third component, and tapas are the fourth component. These four components of the Sanatana Dharma, saucham plays a very important role in purifying an individual which is polluted by the temporary reality. Superimposition of the pollution of the temporary reality on the self to achieve the highest supreme realities, understanding, and that bliss. So that Sat, which is not changing, the Chit, ever conscious, is the oneness of Sat and Chit, is the bliss, is the Ananda. So for all these, the tapas rightly performed with daya and recognizing that satyam, the tapas and saucham, so the purity of the improvement of this purity process will help any individual to achieve that highest supreme reality. So because that is the importance of the saucham. So each aspect need to be comprehensively, correctly understood, and it should be practiced. So whole of the siddhi of suddhi, the purity. So purity need to be started in the actions layer. So the straightforwardness, arjavam, doing only things, everything in the full clear transactional contracts. So this is one of the purity which will start with actions. Then expressing all that has been thought. So not expressing something which has been thought, or expressing something which is not been thought that way, becomes impurity of the speech. So Vak Suddhi comes by aligning the mind and actions together with the speech. So alignment of mind and actions is the through the speech is the purity of speech, and alignment of thought with that ultimate reality, with right understanding of that ultimate reality, is the purity of the thought. So practicing this purity as a tapas, as described or as revealed in the Sanatana Dharma, will surely bring that required purity and take the individual to that supreme reality or the Sakti. With that, we will close today's talk. Again, reminded of the ultimate Guru. Om Namo Bhagavate Virajeshwaraya. Swasti. Sarve Jana Sukhino Bhavantu.